米大リーグドジャースの大谷翔平が日本時間28日、本拠地で行われたロッキーズ戦に1番投手兼 DH で先発出場し、初回に今季9号となる先頭打者本塁打を放ちました。相手先発はロッキーズの菅野俊之。大谷は初回、菅野が投じた 93.7 マイル、約150キロのフォーシームを豪快に捉え、センター方向へ運びました。投手としてマウンドに上がるこの試合で、自らを援護する先制ソロ。ドジャースタジアムは大きな歓声に包まれました。ロッキーズ側放送では、打球がスタンドに着弾してから約13秒間、実況席が沈黙。実況のドリュー・グッドマン氏は、彼はしばしば見る者に言葉を失わせます。今まさにそうしました、と、驚きを隠せない様子でした。さらに、解説のライアン・スピルボーグス氏も、理解が追いつきません。野球がこんなに簡単なはずはないんですけどね、とコメント。投げて、打って、いきなり試合を動かす大谷の規格外ぶりに、現地放送も言葉を失っていました。これらの模様を日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
It's great seeing Mark again. We got some history for sure. So no, it's been great being here. Everybody's been super welcoming. Obviously, it's a great place to play. There's tons of greatness around this team and greatness around this organization. So I've always had a huge respect for the Dodgers and what they do and what they're able to do year in and year out. So I'm really excited to be part of it and get to experience everything that comes along with being a Dodger.
Hey, Eric, this is Nomar, and I know you're saying now you're here with the Dodgers and stuff, but you grew up in Ohio, and I read you're a Cleveland Indians fan. I know now Guardians. We're both fans. I mean, only because I did really well against the Indians. At the same time, though, I want to know to you, because I know to Jerry and I, is it still the Jake to you?
Oh yeah, it's still the Jake to me. There's still the Cleveland Indians. That's never going to change for me. I loved going there when I was a kid and, growing up with the Jake.
Eric, I realize you had one career home run. Perfect timing. It came in 2021. It was the last year before the DH took over in the National League, and you hit it off a former teammate with the Padres in Chris Paddock. So I imagine that gives you a lot of great bragging rights forever against hopefully a good friend of yours. But have you ever hit home runs before that? Because I was looking, I didn't see any in the minor leagues or anything in college. Was that just a one-off for you, or did you just repeatedly hit bombs throughout your life?
No, actually, well, I went into college being a two-way player, but I ended up, spraining my ankle, and we had a pretty good first baseman, so they took away hitting from me. They were like, we're gonna keep you at what you're good at. But I always loved hitting, and that's forever going to be my Jeopardy question, I think, is like, who was the last Brewers pitcher to hit a home run before the DH? But that rule for me was, I wanted it to go the other way. I wanted it to go, both leagues had to have pitchers hit. I wanted no DH. I like when pitchers hit. I enjoy hitting. I think it makes the game, more exciting, more tactical. And I think it added a different element to the game. So, but now I guess it is what it is. And I got my home run. Big Mac told me I was going to hit a home run at some point in my career when I was with the Padres. So I eventually got there. So I did it for him.
I'll tell you what, me and Nomar played with a guy named Greg Maddux, and he said the reason why he stuck around so long, he wanted to hit an extra home run. He wanted that feeling one more time. Obviously, he won 300 and some odd games, had a great career. But back to your career. You talk about being that two-way guy. You have a teammate now in Shohei Ohtani. How special has it been to see him on the other side as an opponent, but now as a teammate?
I think for me, I've always looked at him as like he's got to be a robot or something. There's something different about him. Just seeing him, I've seen him, in the off season. We've been at the same place working out a couple of times, and just watching how routine and regimented he is, it's unbelievable. And there's a certain level that you have to be at to get to this level, and then there's Ohtani. So it's a whole different level of focus and routine, and and that's what it takes to be that kind of player that nobody's ever seen before and probably will never see again. So it's awesome, and he's such a down-to-earth guy. He's not that big head superstar or whatever you might imagine as, when somebody gets to that kind of level, you tend to think, maybe they buy into it. Maybe they're a little full of themselves. He's not like that at all. He's a super easy guy to talk to, really nice guy to be around. And, I think that just adds to the love for him and, what he does.
And you're going to find out he's really funny, too. Really funny.
Well, I've heard him crack a few jokes, and he definitely has people laughing.
Eric, the last thing I want to ask you is just about Game 3 of the World Series last year and what it was like from your perspective, not just coming up on the short end of things, but there were so many incredible heroic performances in that game by relief pitchers. I mean, Will Klein, who's now your teammate, pitching 4 innings. I don't think he had ever thrown more than 2 innings in his life. And then yourself, you go 4 2/3 scoreless from the 12th inning through the 16th inning and smartly walking Shohei Ohtani because that was the right thing to do. But what was that experience like from your end, just being on that stage where there had to be just so much intensity involved in that entire game?
Yeah, there definitely was. And by the way, the walks to Shohei were not my choice. Those were intentional. I didn't get to throw him.
You wanted him.
I wanted him. but no, it was a really fun game. It was a super cool experience. Just being there, and you could feel the tension rising as the game kept going and going and going and going. And at some point, everybody was like, you know what? Maybe we can just. Maybe somebody can hit a walk-off. Maybe somebody can get something done here, like either side. At that point, once it got to like 17, we were like, it's somebody do something. But my job was to make sure that the Dodgers couldn't do anything.
And of
now
course,
that I'm on the
you
other
did
side,
that.
it's great. Yeah, no, I did my job for that day. So, and I mean, obviously, Will did his job, and he did an amazing job. And that he took away my. He took away my little piece of history, and he stole my game from me, where it's now the Will Klein game instead of the Eric Lauer game.
Well, now you're here. It was an incredible performance by yourself last year, and we just couldn't wait for you to get out of the game because we knew the Dodgers wouldn't score against you because you were the Dodger killer, and we're just glad to see you in Dodger blue now. So thank you so much, Eric. Welcome to Los Angeles once again. We'll hopefully catch up again down the road.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.
Yeah.
Ohtani brings a 12-game on-base streak into tonight, hitting .395 in the stretch, and on-base percentage of .526. Sugano's 1-1. Ohtani, dead center field. Did he get enough? You bet he did. He's just showing off once again. Back-to-back starts. He leads off the game with a homer.
It's just a fastball right down the middle part of the plate. Again, Shohei's not going to miss anything like that. You can tell he is just locked right in.
Shohei Ohtani against Sugano is now 7 for 9 between NPB and MLB, with 5 extra base hits and 3 home runs.
So why would you throw him a strike, honestly? Like, why wouldn't you just throw pitches off the plate and hope that he's aggressive? And then if he does walk, he's standing down there at first and he's pitching. Ohtani just continues to wow. I think you can say MVP is his, and now it's just a question: is he going to get enough innings to win a Cy Young? I mean, going back to Ohtani, I'm trying to think of a player that I could convincingly say in the month of May, that's your MVP. Like, I mean, really, that's how much he's changed baseball. And obviously the two-way part of how he plays the game, but I mean, that's just how ridiculous he is. And if you don't believe me, just go to the odds makers.
Against Shohei Ohtani, though there's an age difference of 4 years, they were in the same draft in the NPB back in 2012, and the first pitch is a splitter, and it's in from there for strike 1. Shohei, Spilly, and Huey has had a lot of success through the years, though there's only been 7 at-bats, 6 hits going back to Japan, a couple homers, 3 doubles for Ohtani against Sugano.
It's really fun to watch two players lock horns where we know overseas this is such a big deal. Well, just the amount of press that Ohtani gets on his own, we see that, whenever we come here, or, they're in Denver, but just the added extra
because of Sugano's son going tonight too. I mean, the dugouts at Cameron Wells, they're packed to the gills tonight.
Here's the 1-1, and it's a fastball, and it's hit straight away. McCarthy is going to watch it sail out. Oftentimes, he leaves you speechless, and he just did there. Ohtani takes a high fastball and hits it over the center field wall. 1-0 LA.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. The moment's never too big for Ohtani. He gets a fastball up, just destroys it to center field. And then as he was rounding the bases, he does his cologne celebration, but he quickly took off his elbow pad, his hand pad, because he went straight from as soon as he touched home plate to pitcher Ohtani. He has not sat down since he pitched in the first inning. Unbelievable. I mean, I don't know what that feels like to be Ohtani. Like, it doesn't make sense. The game shouldn't be that easy.
Unicorn.
Well, I mean, he really is. And very quickly, Huey, it is, to me, inarguable that he is the greatest player to ever play this sport.
Just because of what he can do. And I was just watching his swing. He didn't even take a stride. That was just all hands and coming through at the right time. Just almost like the old Pujols, where he just lifted up the heel and then put it back down. And there's the ball out in center field, still on the netting.
So here's Ohtani. He just hit a home run, and he does not come in to the dugout and sit down after he's done pitching. He goes straight to the top rail. So watch, he's already taken off his stuff. Normally he's not doing that, but you can see it. He transformed from the superhero hitter to now back to a pitcher. Where's his cape?
Where's his phone booth?
I don't know what they're laughing at.
Well, one note on Sugano.
So they must be looking at something that Ohtani did.
You don't see that many guys locked in on the iPad at one time.
Yeah, they're all captivated.
6 no-hit innings from that man on the mound. He did give up a run on an RBI ground out. 4 walks, a career high as a Dodger, but 7 Ks. And oh yeah, he led off the game with a home run. 6+ no-hit innings and a home run in the same game. You got to go back to 1959, June 25th. Don Drysdale.
Okay. Big D.
Against the Phillies, the team that comes to town on Friday.
Again, we watched him tonight, and there were times where he was obviously frustrated. Again, you look at the performance, and it's elite. That's who he is. Great pitching. The hitting was elite. And that man, again, proves why Shohei is the best player in all of baseball. A little pitching, a little hitting. And even when he's not at his best, he is still dominant.
Obviously, to the game, this Dodger team continues to play really good baseball. Love what Shohei. He didn't have his best stuff tonight or his command, but he gave his team a chance to win no-hit innings, and obviously with the bat. Setting the tone, leadoff home run, special player.
They got greedy. We say that before the game. You got a chance for a sweep, you get greedy, and you go out there and take care of business. They did exactly that. Shohei set the tone, both at the plate and on the mound. Going out there, giving 6 innings, no hit. Yeah, gave up a few walks, but nonetheless, gave the team a chance. They swung the bat to the top of the lineup. The one thing that the top of the line, we're waiting for them to get going this year, well, the top 3 guys each with a home run, supplying the power, supplying the run. So just all around, it was a really good win because even the bullpen came in, did a fantastic job. Defense, great job, guys.
Dodgers get the 4-1 win over the Rockies. Behind the plate, catching Shohei Ohtani tonight was Will Smith, and right now he is standing by with Kirsten Watson.
Will, the pitching as of late has been the story. You guys have been excellent. When you look at this game, you had 7 2/3 of no-hit work. What was just the biggest thing that you saw from this pitching staff today?
Yeah, I thought, Show gave us a great start. He was getting in the zone. He's kind of a little wild in the zone a little bit today, but he's keeping off balance, making pitches when he needed to, and keeping it at bay, and then handing over the bullpen. I thought Klein was great, Scott was great, and then Kyle Hurt picking up his first save was awesome.
How special has Kyle Hurt, and what kind of addition has he been to the bullpen this year?
Yeah, he's been great. He's got really good stuff. 3-pitch mix. He attacks the zone, and he gets quick outs, puts guys away with 2 strikes, and he's going to have a good year for us.
You had mentioned Shohei Ohtani. When you look at him being able to navigate through that 6 innings of works, especially when he doesn't have his best stuff, the fight that he shows, how do you describe just what he's like on the mound in games like this?
Yeah, he just finds a way. You know, he finds a way to make pitches when he needs to. You know, he finds a way to bear down and get out of a little jam here and there. He's just got really good feel, and that's what he does. He just competes and figures it out.
All right, now let's talk about you offensively. Dave Roberts did recently switch up the lineup. You're a little bit lower in the order, but getting on base consistently right now, what do you think has just been the biggest difference for you, especially getting back on track, and then of course getting the results with the double today?
Yeah, just trying to put together some good at bats, some mechanical changes, some stuff. Just working a lot in the cages. Mook and I were hitting the other day, so he had some success yesterday. So it's good to see the hits starting coming.
Yeah, the two of you are right back where you want to be. Congratulations on this win and a fantastic series, Will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shohei Ohtani goes 6 innings, did not allow a base hit, although he was charged with a run because, as Will Smith said, he was a little bit wild in the zone. He had 4 walks, also hit a batter, punched out 7 through 99 pitches to pick up win number 5 on the season. His consecutive scoreless inning streak, Nomar, came to an end at 19, but I think what we were all watching out there was a guy who was grinding and continuing to find ways to make the pitches when he needed to get out.
Well, Will Smith touched on that. He said, listen, there were times where he was wild over the course of this game, but still, when he needed the pitch, he came through. He had the pitch to get guys out. Well, that's what gamers have to do, and pitchers going out there, that when they don't have their best stuff, you can tell they may be frustrated or grindy, but when they need that pitch, when they need the important pitch, maybe to get that out, when maybe there's some traffic, Shohei was able to give that pitch. And that's what you need. And that also feeds to the rest of the guys also coming into that game. They're like, this guy's battling, we got to battle. The offense feels the same way. Say, he's battling, he's not giving up. We got to go out there and score some runs. And the bullpen did an excellent job once again, just going out there and pounding the zone, trusting their stuff. But for Shohei, listen, it happens, and we're going. He didn't have his best up, and he still didn't give up a hit. I mean, that says a lot about Shohei.
Well, you can see he was a little bit irritated, visually frustrated at times. Walked 4 guys, also hits a batter, and he was frustrated. But the one thing you can't take away from Shohei, he is an absolute fighter, and he fought tonight on the mound. Yes, he hit that home run in that first inning, give himself a lead, but on the mound, he knew, listen, I got to make sure I throw up zeros. Give my team a chance to win. I remember Clayton Kershaw and other pitchers that I played with in the past. Sometimes when you take the mound, you're not going to have your best stuff. You're not going to have your best command. But what you can do is continue to fight and give yourself and your team a chance to win. And that's exactly what Shohei Ohtani did tonight. Really impressive performance. And Nomar, you touched on it. Didn't have his best command, did not have his best stuff. No hit through 6th inning. Pretty impressive.
It's kind of a perfectionist even out there on the mound. It wasn't quite going the way that he had planned it out tonight, but still it's 6 hitless innings. It's also a win. And Jerry, you mentioned it. He helped himself. He helped his own cause because for the 2nd straight pitching start, he also led off the game with his bat, hitting a bomb.
Well, John, you guys know I ran to the set around 5:58 saying I'm picking Shohei. He's my call shot. I accidentally ran into him earlier, and I just had a feeling he was going to go deep. Very confident coming in the ball game tonight. Listen, head down on contact. I love the swing, stays balanced throughout the swing. And when he's staying square, those hands work naturally. Just an impressive athlete for the 2nd time in a row, pitching and hitting. He goes deep in that 1st inning.
Oh, I know he was your called shot. I get it, because like you mentioned, you saw him and it says, listen, you can see it in his eyes, which was great to see. But you were also talking about, oh, he hasn't necessarily been hitting great. I said, well, his last game, he led off with a home run, and he did it here once again. Listen, that narrative, yeah, whatever. You don't have to worry about that. He's just finding his swing right now. We knew that. It was a matter of time. It was coming. We're seeing that. And it is just sheer dominance out there on the mound. That is so impressive, even in a night where you can tell that he's visually just frustrated, that he wasn't just as consistent with his command, but still being able to dig deep and find a way.
You know what's amazing? It's almost as if he homers in that 1st inning. Okay, let me get my hitting out of the way with the home run. I provide some offense. Now I can really focus on pitching. Yeah. It's almost, in fact, he's kind of doing that. He certainly's done that the last 2 starts.
Well, I think it's time that we should hear from Shohei Ohtani, because right now he is speaking with Kirsten and the media.
Shohei, when you look at just how you were able to navigate through the Rockies lineup, what did you find as being the biggest challenge and how you were able to get through it today?
今日これの打線のその内容とか、投球振り返ってみて打線の印象とか何か
そうですね。全体的にやっぱりその自分の制球力とこう格闘してた感じかなと思います。
I was just battling the lack of command I had throughout the night.
You have situations like this. What is the biggest focus for you and how you kind of want to either stay in the zone or be efficient to try to, as you were able to, get through 6 innings of work?
6イニング投げれて、ある程度調整できたと思いますけど、主に調整しようとしてたことは何でしたか？
どうですかね。いいディフェンスにもこう助けられて、そこが大きかったのかなとは思うので、全体通してさっきも言いましたけど、制球力、こう自分の投げたいところに投げれてないこうフラストレーションというか、そういうのとこう格闘してた感じかなと思います。
Yeah, I have to give credit to our defense. They really, set the tone today. Again, just command was off, and I just felt like I was battling the lack of it and the frustration.
This is the most animated or frustrated that we've seen you lately on the mound. What led into some of that frustration?
フラストレーションが見えてたんですけども、なぜそこまで。
どうですかね。ピッチャーも歩かせたくないですし、ヒット打たれるよりもやっぱりフォアボールでランナーを出すっていうのは個人的にですけどすごい嫌なことではあるので、そういう意味ではちょっと多すぎたかなとは思います。
Just way too many walks, and of course you want to avoid the hits, but the result of that was a lot of walks today, and that's something that I just don't really want to do.
Despite the command issues that you kind of had the last couple of games, how much pride do you take in the kind of success that you've had, the results that you've had the last 2 games?
それでも一応内容、結果的にはいい結果っていうので、少し誇れるところありますか？
そうですね。当たり自体こう強い当たりは打たせてないっていうのは唯一いいところじゃないかなとは思ってます。
The takeaway, if any, the positive is that they didn't really have many hard hits, and that's something I'm gonna, that's the positive.
Carl's Jr. moment of the game. No more. It is Shohei Ohtani's leadoff bomb.
And it's the moment, but we're also going to have to go Access 360 at the same time because, listen, it's the first at-bat of the game for the Dodgers, and he just punishes this ball down to center field, does an excellent job. He gets a 1-1 count, the head down on it. We know he has the exit velocity to hit it out of Yellowstone. We know that, so it's really any park. That's how powerful he is. But what I love is that front side was closed. It didn't go out with the hip. The hip goes, but the front side stays closed longer. His head's on the ball, and he drives this ball out to center field. Looks like he's hitting more than one ball, but as far as it went, who knows? There could have been multiple balls, but it just counted for 1 run, guys. Just 1 run, put to center field, and great swing, puts him on the board.
I love that track. You guys are doing some special things back there. You need to do more of that track. Maybe they can do it for my golf swings.
If you spent more time in the studio, you might see some of the stuff that our guys behind the scenes do. Let's hear from Andy Pajes right now. Pajes talking with Kirsten and the media.
Andy, you've been so just consistent at the plate this year. With moving into the 2-hole, did that change your approach or anything? Or how did you just kind of stay true to yourself looking to get the results there?
No, simplemente trato de hacer lo mismo. Simplemente trato de coger buenos turnos y tratar de ayudar al equipo haciendo lo mismo.
Yeah, I try to do the same thing, have good at-bats, try to just have good at-bats when I'm up there.
When you look at just, I guess, kind of going back to this game, the pitching today, we've talked at length of just how good the group has been, but when you have a guy like Shohei Ohtani who sets the tone but is grinding through the outing but still finds a way to get through 6, ultimately does throw a no-hitter through 6, how do you kind of just put towards us what he was able to do today?
Compete. I think you saw that in that Tovar at bat where he gave up a run, and then Will had the visit, and then he came out there and just dominated Tovar in that at bat. Tonight against the Padres, it just, for me, the fastball command wasn't there, and at times when it gets stressful, he makes pitches when he needs to, but then there's some kind of uncharacteristic walks in there and getting into bad counts. But when it gets stressful, he makes pitches when he needs to. But I think tonight it was just, the fastball command he just didn't feel good with.
Were you think allows Shohei to have the results he does even when command isn't good? Is it the simplest stuff, or is there anything more that goes into it?
I think certainly the velocity helps. So, you know, even when he gets in bad counts, he can get Goodman to fly out twice. You know, the sweeper, when he still just got enough stuff to make hitters uncomfortable and can use the curveball to slow him down, can use the sweeper to go, you know, right to left. And again, once he gets guys into scoring position, he really bears down, and then the command seems to come to life. But this guy is just a crazy good competitor.
Have you ever seen a pitcher so dissatisfied with 6 no-hit innings?
Guy that wore number 22 that we remember, very similar.
Does that just kind of speak to even like the standards he has for himself when he's out on the mound?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, the great ones, you know, you look at 6 innings, no hit ball, that could have been 7 or 8, you know, so, but that's what makes guys like that special.
What was the vibe in the bullpen as you're watching the no-hitter unfold?
I'll be honest with you, I had no idea it happened until the hit happened. I didn't know. Because I saw the score and I just thought they got a couple hits, and then Vest told me and I had no idea, so I was kind of shocked, but it was cool to see.
You almost had to come into a game with a no-hitter at stake. Was there some pressure off of you in that
I wouldn't have known going in because I didn't know there was a no-hitter going on, so I think I would have treated it like any other game. So, but yeah.
Ignorance would have been bliss.
yeah, but I was shocked that I had no idea in the 8th inning we were throwing a no-hitter. I need to pay attention.
The pitchers as a group watching Ohtani when he's doing this thing.
It's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, to be honest with you. Like last week in his start, he hit a leadoff homer. He did it again today. He threw 6 no-hit innings and he gave up 1 run, but it is what it is. That's baseball. But it's insanely fun and cool to just see what he's doing. And I'm just thrilled to be a part of this team and watch it every single day. So, yeah.
This thing down.
Yeah, obviously he didn't have his best command tonight, but he certainly has really good stuff. He kept us in the ballgame. There's a curveball. Great fastball there to freeze the hitter in her half. Outstanding sweeper, 3-2 breaking ball. Listen, when he is on, he is just a nightmare to deal with. Even when he's off a little bit, he still doesn't give up a hit in 6 innings pitched. Just love the fight. I love the compete, continuing to give his team a chance to win. And oh, by the way, he also homered today.
Well, everything that we had talked about in the our open, during the game, before the game, it was all about the pitching matchup. And Sugano, yeah, he gave up the 2 home runs, but he kind of did his thing. But really, it was Shohei Ohtani's night again. We talk about his ability to go out there and really kind of dominate a lineup. And tonight for the Rockies, 7 strikeouts, obviously no hits, the 1 run. I will say this, though. He did walk 4 guys, had a hit by pitch. They were able to manufacture a run off of that, but then in the first inning he just went and did Ohtani things by hitting a leadoff home run. And when you think about Ohtani, you think about a unicorn because he can do so much in so many different ways. And tonight, you think about this, so Drew, in the 8th inning when Tyler Freeman got that base hit, it was just a 3-1 game. So the Rockies tonight did fight, and they brought that tying run to the plate in the 8th. Unfortunately, they couldn't muster anything else.
Shohei Ohtani, you kind of run out of superlatives to describe just how great and how unique this cat is.
Yeah, I mean, you hope you never get Ohtani fatigue because we talk about him all the time, but for a good reason. I mean, the guy is so special, and think about, for a guy that was struggling with command, he still ends up in elite company tonight. Ohtani, as a player, to hit a home run, 1 or more, throw 6 innings or more, and allow no hits. He's in a list with Rick Wise, Earl Wilson, Jim Tobin, and Wes Farrell. So, I mean, like, this is crazy stuff. Every single night that you watch Ohtani play, he could do something historic.
Well, he already has a game in which he started to hit 3 homers in a game.
A postseason game.
The last time he started against the Rockies last year, he homered. Tonight he went 1 better because he didn't give up a hit for 6 innings. It's just crazy stuff. And
yeah, Ohtani, I mean, we couldn't find a barrel tonight. I thought we made him work. Drew 3-4 walks, hit by pitch, gave us some chances to score, but just couldn't get the knock. Couldn't find a barrel tonight. No hits off of him. Sugano, I thought, gave us a chance to win. I thought he was good. just a couple homers in the first inning. Then after that, he settled in.
Sugano wasn't that bad, but do you think it's? I mean, was it what didn't work for him today?
Listen, it was 2 solo homers in the first inning. It was a fastball away to arguably the best hitter in the world that he hit out of the ballpark, and then Freeman, who's a pretty dang good hitter too, curveball down off the plate. You just got to tip your hat to that. After that, I thought Toma was settled in nicely. He was a pro, just like he always is. Give us a chance to win.